What's going on, football fanatics? We've been closely following the Aaron Rodgers free agency saga, and there's been a significant turn of events. According to the latest reports, the Pittsburgh Steelers have officially offered the four-time NFL MVP a contract. This is a major development after Rodgers' visit to Pittsburgh on Friday, where he left without a deal, leaving many wondering what his next move would be. This new article states that the Steelers have indeed put an offer on the table for Aaron Rodgers. Interestingly, the report suggests that this offer is reportedly lower than the one he has received from the New York Giants. Despite this, news of the offer has seemingly shifted the perception of where Rodgers might land. The article points to a significant shift in the betting odds, with Polymarket Sports reporting on X that Aaron Rodgers' odds of joining the Steelers have shot up to a remarkable 75% in a very short period. This indicates a growing belief among forecasters that Pittsburgh is indeed the likely destination for Rodgers in 2025. The question now becomes, will Rodgers accept their offer? We know that the New York Giants remain another option for Rodgers, and they've even added veteran Jameis Winston to their quarterback room. However, the prevailing sentiment seems to be leaning towards Pittsburgh. Rodgers was initially thought to be waiting to see if the Minnesota Vikings had any interest, but it appears they are firmly committed to moving forward with their young quarterback, J.J. McCarthy. This further narrows down the potential landing spots for the future Hall of Famer. The Steelers, while clearly making a strong push for Rodgers, also have a contingency plan in place with the return of Mason Rudolph, who spent last season with the Tennessee Titans. However, it's evident that their primary target for the starting quarterback role is Aaron Rodgers. Adding to the intrigue is the sentiment from Steelers leader and all-pro defensive tackle Cam Heyward. He's clearly growing impatient with the waiting game. As highlighted in the article, earlier this week on his podcast, Heyward made it clear that he's not going to engage in any elaborate recruiting efforts, stating plainly, "Either you want to be a Pittsburgh Steeler or you don't. That's simple. That's the pitch." This no-nonsense approach from a respected veteran like Heyward underscores the Steelers' desire to bring in players who are fully committed to the team. Adding even more fuel to the fire is the report stating that one source close to the situation believes it's a safe bet that Aaron Rodgers will eventually sign with the Steelers. While acknowledging the unpredictable nature of Rodgers' decisions, the signs are increasingly pointing towards Pittsburgh. The article even hints at a potential timeline for the announcement, suggesting it could come closer to an event in Pittsburgh next month involving someone whose show Rodgers regularly appears on during the football season. This could indicate that Rodgers might be waiting for a specific moment or platform to make his decision public. So, the big question now is whether Aaron Rodgers will officially agree to the Steelers' offer. While the odds are heavily in favor of it happening, as we know with Rodgers, nothing is truly certain until that signature is on the dotted line. If he does choose Pittsburgh, it would be a massive move that could instantly elevate the Steelers into serious Super Bowl contention. Pairing Rodgers with their talented roster, including players like George Pickens, Najee Harris, and that formidable defense led by T.J. Watt and Cam Heyward, would create a formidable team in the AFC. The Aaron Rodgers free agency saga has taken another exciting turn with the report of an official contract offer from the Pittsburgh Steelers. While the details of the offer haven't been fully disclosed, the surge in betting odds and the growing confidence among insiders suggest that Rodgers to Pittsburgh is becoming increasingly likely. We'll be keeping a close eye on any further developments and will bring you the latest updates as soon as they become available. What are your thoughts on this latest news? Do you think Aaron Rodgers will ultimately sign with the Steelers? What kind of impact do you think he would have in Pittsburgh? Let us know your predictions in the comments below, and make sure to subscribe for all the latest NFL free agency news and analysis. What's going on, NFL fans? The offseason quarterback carousel is still spinning, and the latest buzz is all about Aaron Rodgers and the Pittsburgh Steelers. In a surprising turn of events, Rodgers reportedly visited Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin and the team in Pittsburgh on Friday. And this visit has sent the oddsmakers into a frenzy. While Rodgers left Pittsburgh without a contract in hand, the fact that this meeting even took place has many believing that a partnership between the four-time MVP and the Steelers could actually happen. According to Polymarket Sports on X, the odds of Rodgers joining the Steelers shot up to a whopping 75% in a matter of just 10 minutes after news of the visit broke. They even playfully asked if Pittsburgh would be the next stop for Aaron Ayahuasca. Referencing Rodgers' past comments, reports suggest that the Steelers have indeed offered Rodgers a contract. Although the details aren't fully public, it's been mentioned that the offer might be lower than what the New York Giants have on the table. Initially, it was thought that Rodgers might be waiting to see if the Minnesota Vikings had any interest. But with the Vikings seemingly moving forward with J.J. McCarthy as their quarterback, that option appears to be off the table. The Giants are still in the mix for Rodgers, having recently signed veteran quarterback Jameis Winston to a 2-year deal. This could potentially impact Rodgers' decision, as the Giants seem to be preparing for the future at the quarterback position. Meanwhile, some members of the Steelers organization are getting a little impatient with the waiting game. Steelers All-Pro defensive tackle Cam Heyward addressed the situation on his podcast earlier this week, making it clear where he stands. He said he's not interested in any darkness retreats or drawn-out recruitment processes. His pitch is simple. Either you want to be a Pittsburgh Steeler or you don't. The Steelers do have a potential contingency plan in place with the return of Mason Rudolph, who spent last season with the Tennessee Titans. However, landing a player of Aaron Rodgers' caliber would obviously be a massive upgrade and could instantly make them a Super Bowl contender. So, what do you think, NFL fans? Is Pittsburgh the next destination for Aaron Rodgers? This situation is developing quickly, and it will be fascinating to see where he ultimately decides to play in the 2025 season. Let us know your predictions in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for all the latest NFL offseason news. What's going on, NFL fans? The Aaron Rodgers free agency saga continues, and a new report suggests that the 4-time MVP might not be making a decision anytime soon. In fact, there's a real possibility that his next NFL team might not be revealed until after the upcoming NFL draft. After the New York Jets moved on and the Minnesota Vikings seemingly said no thanks for now, the list of potential suitors for Rodgers has narrowed. The New York Giants and the Pittsburgh Steelers are the two main teams still in the conversation, both having signed veteran backups but still lacking a clear-cut Week 1 starter. The article points out that at this stage of the offseason, most teams have their quarterback situations pretty much locked down, either with established veterans or promising young players. This means Rodgers isn't facing a ton of pressure to rush into a decision. When looking at the potential landing spots, the Vikings might be the most appealing to Rodgers from a talent perspective, but they seem content to move forward with J.J. McCarthy. That leaves the Giants and the Steelers. The report suggests that Rodgers might be waiting to see what these teams do in the NFL draft. If the Giants, who have the number 3 overall pick, decide to draft a quarterback, it would likely take them out of the running for Rodgers. Similarly, if the Steelers, who pick at number 21, target a quarterback early in the draft, Rodgers would then have a better understanding of the situation he'd be stepping into, potentially as a mentor to a young player. The article argues that there's very little that can happen before the draft that would significantly impact Rodgers' future. He doesn't need to rush his decision, especially with the limited and perhaps not entirely inspiring options currently available. So, could Aaron Rodgers end up with the Steelers? The possibility certainly remains, and this report suggests that it might not happen until after the draft. Depending on how Pittsburgh addresses their quarterback needs, it looks like the beautiful mystery of Aaron Rodgers' next team will continue for a little while longer. What are your thoughts on Rodgers potentially waiting until after the draft? Do you think the Steelers are still a likely destination? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more NFL offseason updates.